Henk Akkermans here, Supply Chain Dynamics, Chapter 12, Collaborative KPIs. Sydea gameplay for employee flows. We already had the employee flows for the supplier. For the buyer. The buyer who had to take care of queries from their customers. Now we have the supplier over here. And there's the same negative feedback logic there. So there's a certain number of FTE. Those FTE have to deal with stuff, with queries. That those queries start increasing. And when they start to increase, then the amount of time that is needed to deal with their issues grows. And when that grows, then that means that you also need more FTE to support them. There are some subtleties here. First of all, we have a max cap. That's why you have a main function here. So there's a cap on the supplier FTE. So if the difference between the cap and the number of FTE becomes a really small number, this can never grow fast. But that's not the case here because we have 40 as a maximum and we're only at 70.1. What then does explain the fact that this is slowing down? Is that the number of issues? No, that keeps growing. But it's really over here. The supplier FTE adjustment delay is going up. And why is it going up? Because the willingness to be responsive towards the buyer is going down. As this becomes smaller, this becomes greater. So this is a nice non-linear effect here, which represents that as Atos Origin got more and more dissatisfied with the attitude of their customer, they gradually were less willing to be supportive over here. Of course, at this level, this amount of time, there is not really a clear dramatic effect. But if we take this from the first 2 years to all 4 years, then definitely you see a series effect. You see in the base case a further growth, but definitely one where the adjustment delay keeps growing. In the collaborative KPI case, the green one, you see a higher willingness to be responsive. But anyway, what you most importantly see is a dramatic decline in the amount of staff time that is needed to address issues, which is not because of the time per issue, but really because there are far fewer queries. And why are there far fewer queries? Well, because there are far fewer quality issues. And why are there fewer quality issues? Because the IT quality gap, as you can see around here, has become really, really small. Indeed, it has become negative, which is marvelous. And that's the logic behind here. So there is an adjustment process which is driven fundamentally by issues in IT quality, which then lead to more queries, and which is mitigated by stuff like capacity limitations and a willingness to be responsive to the customer. But in the end, it's just what it is. It is an adjustment process that also simply costs the supplier money.